Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new here. This is Harlequin Intuitive, back with another pick a card reading, and today is a very special topic. And chances are, if you found this video by searching for it, you have probably been thinking about it, but the question, should you quit your job? It's a very difficult decision to make, and so I wanted to do a reading today to hopefully bring some guidance and clarity to your situation. This is a reading that's channeling the higher force, so how I see that is basically what is in the best ultimate potential for you right now as a member of like the higher soul, collective. So these are readings for the collective, but I'm trying to channel kind of specific groups of people or specific situations to kind of help push people along onto a better path that's more in alignment with where we're supposed to be going. So my three groups today are the ones I have laid out. Group number 1 is this clear quartz crystal. Group number 2 is the black hematite stone, the bloodstone. And group number 3 is this aqua stone. So try to focus your energy on your intention, on your feelings especially. Focus like on the feelings of your job and where you see your trajectory going. Do you see any doors opening up for you? Do you see your future laid out before you? And it could help also to look at when you first started this job, how you felt when you started it, what you expected when you started it, and what your general goal is in life and what you see yourself doing in the future. So go ahead and choose which one calls out to you the most. And then I will leave the timestamps below and meet you at your reading. So let's get started. Okay. Alright, so we're starting with group 1. Alright. Hi group 1, if you chose the clear quartz crystal, this is going to be your reading. Okay, so for group 1, please, what do we need to know? Should they quit their job? Just to be clear, I don't like asking yes or no questions, but in this case, I'm just gonna see what the higher force wants to lay out for us. Because I feel like it needs to be just straightforward. So tapping into group 1 situation, should they quit their job, yes or no? What do we need to know about their situation? What would you like us to know about their situation? Okay, interesting. I'm seeing the potential of a really great opportunity for group 1. I see that things will improve greatly, and I see you not really taking action. So there's that. This Four of Swords. This Four of Swords is kind of like resting on the truth. You know that there's something that you have that's very valuable in your situation, and you may have faced conflict before, but there's something that's leading you to really huge gains, and I mean gains in the sense of satisfaction and value with what you're doing and what you're creating and what you're building. So to be honest, just a straightforward answer, group 1, I don't really see you quitting your job, but I do see a huge change. I see something that is like you're waiting for, like the cards are saying that you should wait for something to change in terms of like someone recognizing your value or recognizing what you really have to offer. I see you stepping into an alignment with this job if it's not a new job. Stepping into a certain type of alignment in terms of like being valued on a spiritual level and not just the material level. Being valued for who you really are instead of just whatever the job is. So I see you waiting on that, perhaps waiting on recognition and having faced many conflicts before and getting that recognition. But I see something really good happening for you, Group 1. So let's see if we can get any deeper messages on this. Okay, wow, this is really sudden change of events. So, let me just tap into this for just one moment. The thing is, I see something happening behind the scenes that you might not be aware of, but it's happening in secret for you, to benefit you in some way. Here we have you resting on your truth, on what you really believe in, on your emotional value, your value as a person, what you can add, what you can offer. I see that there might be a situation where you're not being recognized for that, or you're waiting for recognition on that. But then I see this escape. I see you escaping this job in a certain way through, again, it's focusing on what you truly value. But I see this escape maybe being favorable for you, because I see you here as an outsider working and being validated. This is really interesting, because I'm getting a lot of different messages here. There's something about other people that have been cast out, or like people that aren't welcome in your type of employment in some way. And I see you escaping by finding some kind of use for them or some kind of alliance with these people. So this is a really interesting thing. I see like a covert alliance with you and some outsiders or some outside forces. Maybe you're working as like a freelancer by selling something to a competitor or something along the lines of that. But there's something about this fundamentally that is sitting weirdly with you. Like there's something about the past situation of this job that is not right with you. It's like this, I can't really be at peace knowing this truth. So I'm going to silence myself and protect myself in that way. It's something morally, perhaps, that you don't morally agree with the job, you don't morally agree with the management or the people above you. But you end up finding a way to make it work by maybe resolving some kind of conflict and kind of finding a sense of justice, if that makes any sense. I see you working, and I don't see you taking direct action in quitting. I see this kind of like you need to gather all of the information that you can before you decide to leave or pursue something different. Because I see that this is like there's a lot of people involved, and some aspect of it can benefit you in some way if you know how to use that information and you know who to contact and who to access in terms of like finding a sense of justice and resolution with this. So I'm going to ask now, I'm just going to draw two sides. What would happen if you stay? What would happen if you leave? So for group 1, please. What would be the outcome if they decided to stay? What would be the outcome if they decided to leave, to quit? And then I'm just going to draw a map card for guidance. All right. So if you stay, interesting. If you leave, even more interesting. It's very crazy. It's like, let's see what the map says. Okay, wow, yeah, I see a lot of other people involved. There's people involved in your work situation, and so you have to consider them, and you have to consider the entire situation. Let me see if I can get clarity with this. If you stay, you will face the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Cups. There is going to be a certain heartbreak, or possibly already has happened, where you're going to have to like push your emotions away in order to find peace with the people around you. So you're going to have to live with this pain of whatever has been going on in order to maintain this facade, perhaps, of everything's fine, everything's good, everything's in order with your relationships with the people at this job. If you leave, though, you will find a sense of happiness here with the 4 of Wands. There will be a new path opening up for you. You will feel the sense of liberation and even justice, perhaps. But with the 5 of Cups, you will lose relationships and connections, and you will find that you will go through a period of grief where you have to kind of, it's almost like a severance, like you're cutting off from a group of people, or I don't know why I feel like this is a school and there's students involved and there was some kind of situation. I see the school because this is an apple and this looks like a school. It's almost like you're a teacher. Maybe some of you are teachers. And the problem is like you will continue to be with your students or continue to be with the people that you value and care about, but you will ultimately have to kind of stuff down your feelings and knowing a certain truth that has happened. Whereas if you quit, you will find a new opportunity, but you will find that cutting off from these relationships will bring you a sense of grief and sadness. So it's a very difficult decision. The advice that came through with the map card is come together. I think that it might be beneficial for you to find allies at this time in your job before you make a decision, and maybe talk it through with certain people and try to hold on to the people that you care about instead of abruptly just doing something, because I feel like there's a lot of emotions involved with this situation, and you know that you do have better options for you, and you know that you have that power to do that. But because there's so many other people involved, I feel like you really have to kind of work emotionally with them before making a big decision. But ultimately, it's up to you. Okay, group 1, I hope this was helpful for you. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed it and if you resonated with it at all. And I hope to see you again in the future for more videos, and good luck. Bye. So group 2 is next. Hi group 2, if you chose the Black Hematite Bloodstone, this is going to be your reading. So like the first group, I'm just going to dive into it. I don't like asking yes or no to the tarot. So if you are going to ask me a personal question through the tarot, try not to do yes or no. It's a whole thing. But in this case, I am going to ask, should you quit your job? Just kind of abruptly like that, because I want to get a situation, a feel of a situation. So for group 2, please allow me to channel their situation. Should they quit their job? Should group 2 quit their job? Wow. So right off the bat, I'm seeing a huge life change for you. This is a new chapter in your life, and it has to do with your relationships and how you kind of present yourself in relationships. What is emotionally fulfilling to you? What is valuable to you emotionally? What is something that you genuinely care about? Is this job in alignment with that? And so I feel like your situation is like you've come to a certain realization where the path that you're on, is it in alignment with what you really want and who you really are and what you genuinely value? Or is something off here? And how will this play out if you continue this path? That's the question that you're asking yourself. So I see this big grief, this sadness in leaving certain people behind. But I see new paths opening up for you. I feel like you're having difficulty with taking the next step. There is something there for you, something better, something bigger. But I'm seeing that you're having difficulty with that next step, and I want to know what that's about. So let's see if we can get a deeper view. See if we can get a deeper view on what that might be. Okay. So you do know that a decision has to be made. You have 3 major arcana, and they're pretty big ones. With the Wheel of Fortune and Justice and the Hierophant, I feel like there's this whole system that is either working in your favor or it's against you. There's a hierarchy of people, and the only person that has any authority over you is yourself, and you need to remember that. The King of Cups is an authority figure as well, even though he doesn't run around yelling and screaming at people because he actually cares about other people. The King of Cups is your highest authority, and he's here backing you up with Justice and the Hierophant. So ultimately, what the cards are saying is that your decision needs to come from your values, your morals, your beliefs, your sense of peace, you know? Like, what is going to bring you peace? This path for you is a huge lesson. This situation for you, because the thing is like, with the Hierophant, it's asking you to question what you believe. And so in order to quit this job or whatever the decision is, you have to ask yourself, what do you believe about yourself and about the world, and who has authority over you? This is a big life lesson. Because I see here, ultimately, what's going to end up happening, probably, is that you will lose certain people in going your own way, but you will gain a certain work that's freeing. Like you'll be able to work in something that's freeing or personal, like independent work. You know, I'm getting a lot of that. And it's almost like, the question is, should you quit your job? So I really don't even see that being like, I don't, like, the thing about this reading is that it's so like impactful that I almost don't even see the job being a factor in your life right now. Like it's almost like irrelevant, whatever job it is. The question you really need to be asking yourself is, am I holding up to my beliefs? Is the decision that I've made in alignment with that? Or is it not? Because we're always manifesting our future by the choices that we make and what we believe in and what we put out into the world. It's always going to be creating new things. So is it, this situation of losing people or causing chaos or even being seen as like someone who always fucks it up, so to speak? Like, you've spilled these glasses here and they have like green stuff and like red stuff, and I've always seen that as like, like chaotic. It's like you've made this mess and you're living in the shame of it, like you're living in the shame of like, I made a mistake in my past and I upset people and I didn't do things the right way. But instead of dwelling in that shame, it's saying you can focus on a different type of work or more fulfilling type of work that is going to bring you the new opportunities, that is going to like push you towards the people, a sense of balance and a sense of peace and a sense of connection, genuine connection. So that is an insane reading. I'm just going to ask the next question. That was just kind of general. Now I'm just going to ask kind of more clarity. On the left side, we're going to do what would happen if you stay at your current job, and on the right side, we're going to do what would happen if you leave. What would be the outcomes of these decisions? So if you decide to stay for group 2, what would be the outcome? If you decide to stay group 2, what would be the outcome? And if you decide to leave, what would be the outcome? All right, and then we're just going to ask the map deck if there's any final advice I would like to come through. Okay. So if you stay, interesting, and if you leave, very interesting. It's the advice. Well, this one did come in reverse, but I don't want to read it in reverse. It's already fine as it is. So if you stay at this job, you will see movement. Something will move very quickly. Is there someone... Remember how we were talking about authority and who has authority over you? Is there someone who has authority over you? Look at how this is a skull with the 2 pentacles. I almost get this disturbing image of like somebody putting a gold star on your head for being mediocre. And I don't want to put words into the tarot's mouth, but look at how this skull is tatted. He's tattooed and he has these 2 gold doubloons as eyes. It's like, I know that it's the 2 of Pentacles, which means change, ultimately, and exchanges. And the Chariot is movement and kind of like your identity, pushing you forward to ego. But I almost feel like if you stay at this job, what will you be valued for? I feel like somebody is guiding from behind. Is it you? Is it your instincts? Is it someone else? What is guiding you? Money is very important, I'm not going to lie, but is it worth it in the long run? I also see, a possible change coming if you stay. Um, One thing might be exchanged for the other. You might get a different job or a different rate or a raise in the same company. But is it just more of the same? I don't know. If you leave, you have the Nine of Cups, which is total emotional fulfillment and freedom. But then you get Judgment. And I see you really closing a cycle here in terms of like, this is another weird card with a dude in the sky and animals. I feel like you might be very severely judged by other people, but you will be happy. But also, it's just very strange, this combination of cards to me. Not to get so incredibly deeply into it, but like, the first card is if you stay. There's a dude with a crown in the back kind of driving this chariot that's being led by the fox and the tiger. Is he the master of them? The second card is a dude blindfolded in the sky ringing a bell on the animals, raccoons and rabbits and birds. The question is like, I feel this theme of like being domesticated versus being free. If you allow yourself to be domesticated, everything seems to be happy. The master is proud of you. But if you choose the freedom to leave and to walk, you will be severely judged by an authority figure. And they will kind of ring the bell on you to be like, this person is an animal and they're a wild animal, and I didn't like that because I was so used to driving and I don't know. It might be a little too much. I might have I get creative with the reading sometimes. It's like I get all these ideas that come in. But the question really is like, I feel like just with this deck, it's a very dark, weird deck. Just with this deck alone, I feel this feeling at your job that like they're kind of working you to the bone a little bit, and you do kind of see a little bit of money, but do you have your freedom? Who's driving? And so this is something that you're going to ask yourself if you continue the job. If you leave, you will find freedom. That is for sure. You'll be able to go lay in the grass and nobody's going to bother you. But you will face this judgment by others, and it might be very difficult. And I feel like it's going to be like a closing of a chapter that starts something new, and it might be scary to know where that path will lead, but it will shut that chapter down for you. It will force you to kind of like move forward. The advice card that came in is a magical map shifter, and I honestly haven't gotten this card in a while. Again, it's a blindfolded dude holding a map. And, sorry. He has a map, he has a compass, he has a horse. He's a heroic figure. He's kind of like a Frodo. Kind of a cuter version of Frodo, to be honest. But anyway, he's kind of like the protagonist of the deck. To me, this is about, it's kind of like being, like experiencing the situation. I can see that you're a very spiritual person and you're very in tune with your feelings and your emotions and your morals and your values. But the advice is that I think what it's trying to say is that you can alter anything around you based on how you perceive it. So what are you holding on to, and what, like the advice for you is to look at what this is representing in your life, this conflict. Are the things that bother you about this job showing you something about yourself? Because this is really important. We had the Wheel of Fortune before. Whatever decision you make is going to define the trajectory of your soul in any situation. And so whatever you're seeing this as and whatever feelings it's bringing up in you, it's asking you to pay attention to that so that you can understand yourself better. Because with this card, I just feel like things are about to change for you, and it's not so much about the job, and this is what I was getting before. It's not so much about the job for you, it's about what it represents in your life and what it's revealing to you about yourself and what it's pushing you towards. Will a decision be made? I don't know. But I think you really need to take a look at where you are and take a look at what this is pushing you to do and what it's kind of revealing to you, okay? But this is a huge life change for you, whether it seems like it or not. All I know is that whatever you choose, it's going to kind of work out in the end, okay? So group 2, I hope this was helpful for you. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you resonated with it, and I hope to see you again in the future for more videos. So best of luck to you guys. Take care and talk to you guys later. Bye. Alright, moving on to group 3. Hi group 3, if you chose the Aqua Stone, this is going to be your reading. So we're asking the cards, should you quit your job? Again, I normally don't ask yes or no questions because I don't like, I don't think the tarot is that black and white, but I'm going to be asking it just to kind of get a general view of your situation and what's going on. So let's just take a look. So, group 3, should you quit your job? What do we need to know about that? Oh, wow. Oof, so much conflict. Oh, you guys. What's going on? Okay. There's a lot of conflict here, and you're really stuck. I'm seeing that is very clear. You know that if you walk away, you will face financial struggle, definitely, because there's a lot of people fighting for the same job, or like, there's a lot of mixed stuff involved, you know? There's a lot of people involved, and everybody wants a piece of something, because I feel like you're in a situation where you're facing financial difficulties, struggle, poverty, whatever, as we are all probably at this point. And I see you just kind of surrendering to it, like you're kind of stuck in the middle. Like, it's like, I don't really want to work this job and fight so hard and work so hard, but I also don't want to be broke. So you're just kind of stuck in the middle of like waiting to see what happens, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let's just see if we can get a little bit deeper clarity on what this wants to reveal to us. Should you quit your job, group 3? What do we need to know? Oh, another 5. God, scary. Yeah, so I see you waiting for something to be revealed. Oh, this is really chaotic. There's so many people involved, and they're so conflictive and annoying, and I can really feel that. There's so much greed and so much petty conflicts and stupidity and ignorance at your job. And I really see that with all these people here. Everybody's out to get each other, to stab each other in the back. It's really a toxic situation. But you are a very spiritual person, and I can really see that. You're very, like, you don't like to see things as black and white. You don't like to judge people overtly. You kind of like to give people the benefit of the doubt, I think. And what I see is that you're trying to stay out of a situation that's conflicted or chaotic, and doing that because you know that you're struggling, or you would struggle if you were to leave. However, it's a really interesting position where you're at, because you're trying to just see things clearly, and you're just trying to see, like, the truth of the situation, and this gives you a sense of clarity of mind to be able to make a decision on what you're going to do next or how are you going to handle this. I see that you are not a stranger to financial difficulty. And so you're very practical when it comes to that. And I see you kind of creating a plan or a strategy on what your next move is going to be. But I see that you're stuck in a situation. Let me get a little clarity on what this conflict might be here. Let's see what that conflict with this drama is. Okay. I see you really detached from it, not involved at all. But what is that conflict there? Isolation. You're very isolated at this job. You're very isolated, and it's like you're not a part of the group, you know? You're not a part of what everybody else is doing, and I see you stuck in a situation that it's like you have to do things or use your power, use your intelligence for stupid things, I think, and it has you stuck in a situation that's like, it's difficult, because you know that it's like there's a situation where it could even be a situation where payment is even difficult in this job. Let's see what that is about. Okay, no, I see that the situation is more like you want to expand and go to something else and grow and actually find success, but you're really scared and you're really not sure how you're going to do that. I feel like you want to do something that's more satisfying to you instead of deal with all of this people, all of these situations, and you are trying to think about what options do I have? What is my talent? What can I do? What skills do I have? But you're very scared of like facing that poverty again, or being put in a situation where you're struggling. So that's why you're just stuck in the middle, trying to think of things, trying to use magic, or trying to do something to like get yourself out of that. So now that we know a little bit of the situation, let's ask now with these cards, what would be the outcomes? So the first question is, left side is what would be the outcome if you stayed. Right side is what would be the outcome if you left. So outcomes for my group of three, please. What do we need to know about their situation? What would happen if they stayed? What would happen if they stayed a little longer at this job? And what would happen if they left? What would happen if they left? All right. And we're just going to ask just a final piece of advice that would want to come through, please. Interesting. Wow. Sacred pool. All right. Group 3. I like how this matches the stone and the card you got. So if you stayed at your job, we have a 9 of Cups again. Something very strange about that. There is something satisfying, I guess. I know I was just saying you're in a toxic workplace, but let me see if I can get clarity, because you had gotten the 9 of Cups and the Hermit. Something that you're separate from. I see you going your own way in your job if you stay. Like, you have a sense of peace with what you're doing, surprisingly. Things would change. Things would change for the better, possibly finding peace within your job in some way. That's the problem. That's the problem, because the thing is, if you leave the job, you will have to create a plan, and you will create a plan where you will have to kind of like focus on money. For some reason, I just feel like even though the job is kind of like difficult, or it's a situation that, you know, might not be the best for you, I still feel like there's a sense of peace at this job because of a situation in your life. I'm getting that some of you might have parents that are older. I don't know why I'm seeing that with the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Swords. If you leave your job, I feel like it'll be difficult to either care for them or to provide a certain sense of comfort in your life. Although these are positive cards, you know, if you leave, the Queen of Pentacles is a positive card, the King of Swords as well. But you would have to become like a business person if you left your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would really, really have to focus on a business and on making it work and on strategizing and putting all of your efforts into that business, because you really need this. And the thing is, if you stay, I feel like you would be able to hold off for like another season at least, or another period in your life at least, and you will find peace with that. You know, you will have at least the peace of having this job. The Sacred Pool is your advice. Now, the Sacred Pool is kind of what has us connecting with like the higher force consciousness or whatever. The Sacred Pool is all about like our emotional state, what we put in, we get out, or what we see reflected in the Sacred Pool is kind of what we are. I sense that this is kind of like a sense of peace and like blowing over, almost like whatever the conflict was, it's almost like it'll blow over. There will be a change if you stay in your job, that is for sure, but you will find a sense of peace somehow. I feel like if you leave your job, you're going to have to really, really fight hard and really kind of put all of your energy together into building something. And it is possible for you, and it's likely that this is also part of your fate, where you will have to become some kind of entrepreneur or develop some kind of way of making it completely on your own with your own talents. But because I feel like this energy of like, it's almost easier for you to find peace, then I think that maybe you should focus on kind of finding peace where you are, okay? Although if you do choose to leave, it will be positive. It just might be like a lot of responsibility that's placed on you all of a sudden, and that might be really difficult. So the decision is yours to make, but I hope this reading was helpful for you. I hope it brought you some clarity. Leave me a comment if it resonated with you, if you like this kind of style of readings. And I hope to see you guys again in the future for more videos. So take care and talk to you guys later. Bye.